So everyone's been talking about the solar eclipse. It's funny. Everyone yesterday was like, "Are you gonna see it? Are you gonna see it?" Also, just giving you a heads up if my voice sounds tired. I'm very tired because I'm about to tell you about my day. I decided to Google and look at videos of past eclipses that happened, and I said, "Okay, it'll be a cool experience." What happened was, it turns out in my area, we're not going to get a total eclipse. So we would get a partial eclipse, meaning 90% only. So I said, I don't care about the eclipse because I'm going to be at work. And from where I sit at work, you can't see anything. Like, you can't see outside at all, meaning there are no windows. That's the truth. And then all of a sudden, around like 2:40, my boss let everybody go. He was like, he's gonna go see the eclipse with his kids. And so I'm like, okay, my job ended early, that's fine. And so I waited. I went home, waited until like 3:18 to see what was happening. And that's what, like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you live in a city or the area you live in, you don't get the most out of it. So yes, where I am, the eclipse was definitely not an experience as you expected. Anyways, let's talk about what really happened. I had a fraud charge recently where someone picked up an item, a very expensive item, under my name, and they picked it up. And in order to pick it up, you need ID. So when I went to cancel my item, they told me it's been picked up. They looked in the cameras and they saw someone picking up the item. And it turns out I wasn't the only one with the issue. When I went to go check what happened, someone else was already there. And she had the same issue as me. So police was there already, and they told me to file a report. It turns out that someone sold an item and their face is on TV, on the cameras. Now, it was, oh my God, it was so messy. Like, I'm being very brief and short about it right now. But to talk to customer service and just explain everything, like, no one knows what they're doing. I just don't understand why there are so many corporations where people in departments don't talk to each other. Like, I don't understand. And I complained. I said, well, if I'm supposed to pick up the item, you need my ID. So how is the item picked up when you didn't use my ID because I have my ID? So I guess this is like my question to anybody who works in this field or work with customer service. If someone is picking up an item and you scan their ID, and if it's a fake, does your system detect a fake? Or is your system just, scanning it for formality, but does nothing with the information? And I also asked them to say if the item was still there or what ID was scanned. Absolutely no help. No help. So I went to the store, like face to face in person. I got everything resolved, except it took me 4 hours. And the sad part was, where I had to go to get this issue resolved was the true city. I haven't been to the city in the longest time, and this is where things make it confusing. I live in a city, but the city, the real city, is 10 times bigger than my city. So, like, even though people might consider where I live a city, I don't really consider it a city, but I just go with definition. So I went to the city, which is nowhere near me, meaning I have to take a train in there. I have to deal with tourists, crowdness, being lost. Like, blocks are like 3 blocks in 1 block. So yeah, I haven't been there in a while. And the train situation is very dangerous where people are getting pushed off. It's just a lot of, difficulty with homelessness and drug users. It's a disaster. So I said, okay, let's just go and figure it out. Anyways, I got all the information sorted. And then I contacted my bank when I came home. So I just got to fill some paperwork and I should be okay. But it took about a good 3 hours. Not to mention the previous phone calls I had to do with customer service. But otherwise, yeah, it's funny. When I got the report, I talked to the police officer and I was like, okay, so what should my next steps be? Because I never had a fraud situation ever. And he said, call your bank and tell them you're a victim of grand larceny. And that's exactly what I said. The funny part is I remember I had to do a presentation once on like big crimes that happens in the city. And you would think like murder would be like number 1. And I remember asking my parents, what do you think is number 1? And they told me similar answers. And to our surprise, the largest amount of crime is grand larceny. So let's see if the police call me, because they said they're going to follow up once they find who the woman that stole my stuff and pretend to be me. If she gets caught, but considering that the numbers for grand larceny are the largest, I'm going to assume that these cases get swiped under the rug, meaning they don't have the highest priority. Well, as long as I get my money back, I am not complaining either. And I'm sleepy, so yeah. I feel like I have more to say, but my brain is not working. So remember, if you didn't get blinded by the solar eclipse, be prepared to get blinded by my Milky Way, because that thing will leave swirls in your eyes and you're gonna want to have a bite. See you.